Hello, my name is David Redwine for Grace United Methodist Church. I'm your host for today's Spotlight Series video, and if you recall, our Spotlight Series is about education, so new members, growing families, and the rest of the church as we all live out our faith journey right here in Franklin. May is Older Americans Month, and it was established in 1963 by President Kennedy. So this video will focus on seniors at Grace Church, their faith journey, and how we can learn from them. My first guest is Pat Manis. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Dave.
So we'll just get right into it. Pat, what drew you to Grace United Methodist Church, and then how long have you been a member?
Well, I have to say I was drawn here mainly because of my parents. When they retired and moved to this area, they started attending church, so I started going with them at times. So then I became a member of the church as well. So I've been a member for almost 35 years now, since 1992.
Okay. Family and legacy, that's great.
Yes.
What was one thing that you would tell maybe your younger self about how things are now or your journey?
Don't get discouraged if you don't feel your faith plan or your faith journey is going the way you think it should be or the way others think it should be. It's going to be very imperfect and messy, but the one constant that's there is the hope in Jesus and having our faith that we can make that journey.
Lastly, what would you like to share with our younger members, maybe someone who's new to the church and is still trying to figure out if grace is right for them, or maybe they're having doubts?
I would tell younger people and with families, don't ever hesitate about coming. You know, the noise that little kids make and that babies cry out, it's just signs of life, and it's wonderful to hear. I don't have grandchildren, so I love seeing all the little kids and being around them, and it's just joyful. And even the teenager kids, it's just fun and for me, so I enjoy seeing them and being around them.
My next guest is Dave Sever. And so just to get your perspective, what drew you to Grace United Methodist Church specifically, and how long have you been a member?
Okay. I was raised Methodist, spent my early years with my parents being very involved in church. And when we moved to Franklin, we wanted our boys in church. When one of our grandkids was younger, taking piano lessons here, I walked in to pick her up one time and walked into the lobby, and I was looking around at the table and the signs and the notices and so forth, and I thought, wow, this church is very active in outreach in the community. As I got involved with organizations like Kick It and Bridges Alliance, I was being interviewed by the newspaper one time, and I was talking about Bridges and how Grace United Methodist Church was supporting us and allowing us to use their facility. And the reporter turned to the editor at the time and they said, of course, Grace, because it is what Grace is known for in our community, it's outreach.
So the big one, how has your faith in Christ guided your life?
Cheryl and I, our faith has grown tremendously over the years. We meet with a Bible study. Actually, did not start in this church. We've met with a group of about 20 people for 35 years every Tuesday night. And through that, we see differences in people, but we also see how God has been the glue that's held us together and guided us.
That's amazing. It kind of really highlights how important the people aspect is of the whole thing.
That's right. We don't agree on everything,
sure,
but I like that. I don't think God expects us to agree on everything as fellow believers. I think He wants to challenge us sometimes, and in challenging us, we grow stronger.
Given everything that you know now, what is one thing that you would tell your younger self about your faith journey?
It was expected that we went to church every Sunday and youth group every Sunday night and choir practice every Monday night, and I resented that for a while. And as I look back now, Where would I be if I had not had that foundation? I look at my faith as something that is just continues to grow each day. And if you're curious, explore those curiosities about your faith and about the Bible.
How do you think that applies to, say, our younger members or people that are new to the church, maybe considering joining Grace? Like, what would you want to share with them?
One of the things that's always impressed me is the sign as we leave the parking lot. You are now entering the mission field. Boy, that grabbed a hold of me the first time I saw that, because we are the church, but we're not the church building. We are the people, and as God's disciples of Jesus Christ, we have to do the work. We are the ones that are expected to carry on Christ's message.
So what I'm hearing you say is it's not some external thing. It's not the church, like we are the church.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
I agree. We are the church. We are the people of the church. But again, it's not just a building, or I go to that church or whatever. Well, we're all members of Christ's church. We're one body. Different people, different denominations, but allow God to lead you.
My next guest is Jackie McNeelan. Jackie, we'll get right into it. What drew you to Grace United Methodist Church, and how long have you been a member here?
Well, I've been aware of the church for a long, long time. Our daughters attended Eastside Preschool many years ago when it was still in open and in business. But we actually started listening during COVID online and watching the church. I've been familiar with it for years and years and years, and the reputation and goodwill it brings to the community through the United Way and different organizations that I've worked with. And we've just been members here for less than a couple of years.
Okay. That's a great way to come to the church. So we're asking for the senior wisdom here, as it is senior month for May. What is one thing you would tell your younger self about your faith journey?
Be curious. Don't accept everything as quote unquote gospel truth. If you're curious about something, take some time to read about it or talk with others that you know about it and gather other opinions, and let God lead you in the way that's right. Don't accept what other people tell you, because sometimes other people have accidentally been misled in their life. So I would say be curious and open to learning as you go through life.
For someone that's maybe curious like yourself, like you were years ago, to come to Grace, like what makes Grace special that you would want to share with a family or a potential member?
I think the people here are very open and accepting of others. This church is known for its outreach and opening its buildings to other groups, and for making financial donations to support local and international groups and to further the better part of humanity. And that's really a great part of what made us be interested in the church and decide to join here. Since we've only been members a couple of years, but Martin and I have both become involved with the mission committee and helping to decide where to send the funds that the church donates for mission uses. And that's been a great source of information that we've enjoyed learning more about how the church's money is actually used.
It's good to know that even as a newer arrival, you can get involved, you can be part of a committee,
Absolutely.
and you can have an impact.
I think the church is very open to having new members become involved and learn more about how a church really works, aside from coming through the door on Saturday evening or Sunday morning. Really get involved in what the church is doing.
I'd like to thank all of our guests. We have Pat, Dave, and Jackie. And if you see our seniors from today or any other seniors from the church, thank them for their contributions. And we'll see you on the next video in the Spotlight series.